one of the most fun ways to solo the game. A true pacifist build.
Guarantee you're gonna die if you touch me. Don't do it.
Where
Whoa, Rick!
Okay, what was that?
Death.
What kind?
Instant.
they hit you, they take 90 damage and they die. Do not react, we just let them take the damage. As you can see, just took 78 damage. Perfect, she's dead, 74 damage. But we haven't taken any damage at all. As you can see now, the entire area is ice. Hello guys and welcome. Today we're going through the Pacifist Abjuration Frost Mage. So what is this build really about? So effectively this build is based around you being fully protected with Arcane Ward. So you're gonna max out Arcane Ward and spend a lot of levels in Wizard for the Abjuration subclass, while at the same time minimizing the damage you are gonna be taking. And you're gonna be having on Armor of Agathis and Frost Shield or Fire Shield with some added bonuses, effectively. That's gonna make any enemy that attacks you take a lot of damage, while you're not gonna be taking damage. There's a lot of ways to give your enemies vulnerability to the type of damage that you're gonna be dealing. And we're gonna be provoking a lot of opportunity attacks. So here are the stats. For the build, I recommend getting the first 2 levels in Sorcerer because of the Constitution saving throw proficiency. I do heavily recommend going with a Draconic Ancestry, White Dragon, Cold, so that you get Armor of Agathis for free on level 1. Get 2 levels in Sorcerer so you can do your Sorcerer shenanigans. I'll link the post to the video on how to get infinite Sorcerer points here. And get 3 levels of Wizard so that you can learn your Fireball, you can get your Abjuration going, you can start being a little bit tanky. And then at around level 6 or level 5 really, I would consider going Cleric to get the heavy armor proficiency. And then at level 4 Wizard, right, your 4th level of Wizard, you're going to be able to get Heavy Armor Master as a feat, which will reduce the damage you take from melee attacks while wearing heavy armor. And there's some really good heavy armors in the games, guys, that also help reduce the damage even further. You get the alert feed on level 10. The reason I go for alert is the fact that you can set up the fight the way you want to set it up. But feel free to go for tough. However, as you're going to be seeing down the line, this build does not really require defensiveness, because the way it works when you have heavy armor master and you have resistance to the type of damage, and you have the Arcane Ward, and the armors also reduce the damage that you take. Most of the heavy armors, good heavy armors in the game. And you can also get Force Conduit as well, right? Which is a buff that also helps reduce the damage that you take, and this can go up to 7. So, even though we're probably not going to be going for that build right now. And that means that every attack that's going to be dealt towards you is going to be reduced by at least 24, at least. Your enemies are going to have to hit you pretty hard for you to take a single point of damage, and you're also going to have temporary HP on top of that, right? In the meantime, every time they attack you, they're going to take around 50 to 70 frost damage. So it's a really cool build. Let's go through it, and I'll be playing some footage as well. If you enjoy the content, guys, please like and subscribe, comment on the video what you want to see next. I'm currently abusing the infinite sorcery points whenever I'm making a build. Let me know if you've had enough of that or if you'd like to see more, because I have a lot of ideas on that as well. For Tadpole Abilities, I recommend getting everything because Call the Weak is an ability. But what else you're going to be using is Free Cast, Call the Weak, and Fly. Get everything so that you can Call the Weak and execute people easier. Also keep in mind that Displacer Beast keeps your Arcane Ward charges, which is really important. So, at the start of every day, you have to make sure that you stack up on your Arcane Wards. I know that it says 2 turns remaining, but it actually stays until the end of the day. So, I think it's just bad wording from them. First of all, make sure that you have the right spells prepared. Sanctuary, Create or Destroy Water, and Healing Word. And for the Wizard spells, Cone of Cold, Ice Storm, Counter Spell, really important. I'd also go for Lightning Bolt, Slow, Long Strider, shield. I think we already have shield prepared. Summon elemental and glyph of warding. Okay, so let's talk about items real quick. So for cloaks, always go for the Flesh Melter cloak. This is a really useful cloak that it will help boost your damage output. So I don't see a reason why not going for this cloak. For helmets, you have a few options. You can go for Helm of the Balduran, and if you do go down that route, go with the Reviving Hands so that you get the free Blade Ward on yourself. If you can get that from a different source, then you're also good. Additionally, you can also go for the Headband of Intellect, which is what I would go for if you didn't invest in intelligence and you spread your points like I did over here. Boots, you have two main options in my opinion, right? While you can go for the Gargoyle Boots, this is a spell that you can actually get by yourself and get it from your wizard spell list, so it's not a necessity. However, the Boots of Speed are a very reliable way for you to get a bonus action dash, which in turn will give you more movement speed, and then this would mean that you can get to provoke more opportunity attacks in your turn, which is really useful. Alternatively, you can go for the Hoarfrost Boots if you plan on going on the full ice build. So if you want to go full Frost Mage and create water and freeze it and then walk around to provoke opportunity attacks, these are immensely useful. For armors, I recommend going for heavy armor. Of course, this is why we even pick the feet, right? They effectively help you, as you can see right here. Prime Ages of Fire, you take 3 less damage from more sources. This stacks incredibly well with our Arcane Ward and with our Heavy Armor Master. And then I did go for Gloves of Dexterity because my Dexterity was really low in this build, in this character right here that I'm using for demonstration purposes. However, if you want to, you can use the Reviving Hands again, or even the Gloves of Missile Snaring to help you protect yourself against ranged attacks, since you're not dealing damage to people attacking you from range. And sometimes this is going to be more useful than having two options for counterspell, right? However, I'm going for Gloves of Dexterity to get that boost on initiative. Now, for amulets, it's either Amulet of Greater Health if you find yourself struggling for HP. However, I think you're going to be fine no matter what. It's really hard for your HP to go down. Face Semblance Amulet is good because it gives you that advantage on Charisma, Wisdom, and Intelligence saving throws, which can be really useful, especially if you're trying to solo the campaign. Or Periaptive Wound Closure. This is going to enhance your bonus action heal or your action heal from Healing Word. So you're effectively going to be healing for max every time you do a healing spell. Then for shields, again, it's Viconia's Walking Fortress or Absolute's Protection. Absolute's Protection will give you Fire Shield Chill if you don't have it. So if you find this shield, this might be useful. And let me just make sure that it doesn't stack. It does not. Okay. But yeah, Viconia's Walking Fortress will protect you from spells, which is really useful. You can have an ally cast Warding Bond on you. You're going to have resistance to all types of damage. This is really useful if you're planning on soloing Tactician. And then you can have Gale get a couple of levels and give you Warding Bond, which will give you resistance on everything. He's never going to die because he has some sort of auto-heal bug. I don't know if that's a bug or a feature, really. For rings, I do like the Snowburst ring. It creates some frost areas, but nothing else is really important with this build. Force Conduit, guys. If you go for War Cleric, this Skin Burster can be really useful. It helps reduce the damage that you take. It gives you Force Conduit, which reduces bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage you take every turn. And if you have more than 5 charges, it also does some AoE damage. Not a lot, but we mainly care about the damage reduction, right? So these are the 3 items I was able to find: Square Sledboard, Rippling Force Mail, and the Skin Burster. And this can be a very reliable way for you to reduce the damage that you take. Now, early on in the game, I would wear Morning Frost, but until I get the Duelist Prerogative, as I said. And this effectively will deal some extra cold damage, but what's really important is the ability to inflict shield on your enemies, which effectively makes an enemy vulnerable to cold damage. However, what I will say is that since you have 1 level in Cleric, you know the spell Create Water. You can cover huge areas of the map with water, and this gives your allies and yourself and enemies the wet condition, which gives fire resistance, but lightning and cold vulnerability. That means that whenever somebody hits you while you're using Armor of Agathis, they're gonna take twice as much damage. And when you're using the chill fire shield as well, it means that they're gonna take 4d8 plus 25 plus 50 or 60 if you're using a level 6 spell slot, right? So that averages to about 80 damage, and you also deal some acid damage as well. So it starts to add up. For bows, go for the Bow of Awareness. It's the one that's going to give you a boost to initiative. You can also go for Darkfire Shortbow if you want some extra resistances, but again, you're not going to be needing that much. A lot of good items with this build, guys. Let me know if you like any of them and what you're going to be using in the comments. And let's go into some gameplay. Tip number 1. In Salazar's Palace, you can find this corpse right here, Victoria. You can pick this corpse up, and then this will give you the Vitality Drain AoE ability. So effectively, you have permanent Spirit Guardians if you pick that corpse up. Create Water, as we talked about earlier. This is really important, and it can make a big difference when it comes to battlefield control. Also, if you create water, which can be upcasted to, as you can see, make it rain, if you just touch it a little bit with any frost spell, it covers the entire area with ice, and your enemies can sleep on it. You can also sleep on it, but if you're wearing the Hoarfrost boots, as we talked about earlier, you're fine. Please note that if you cast Divine Intervention for a long rest, you're also going to get all the sorcery points you've created back. Okay, so let's go through one encounter. So first of all, we do have our Armor of Agathis. We are fully stacked on Arcane Wards. I think 12 level 5 spell slots will be enough, but let's make a couple more just to be safe. We can also make some during combat, but it takes your bonus action. We cast Longstrider on ourselves. This is free. You don't even use a spell slot for it. Okay, so Fire Shield, Chill is the optimal choice here. And now I'm also gonna make myself invisible so I can get the drop on these guys. I wanna be casting a level 5 Create Water on everybody here, so that I'm gonna make everybody wet, and now we're gonna start combat. So I always go first, and since we have the fly ability from our Tadpole ability, we want to start provoking opportunity attacks from our enemies. Since they're all surprised, what you can do is you can start out with, I don't know, a Cone of Cold, do some extra damage. They're probably gonna counterspell it, but yeah, let's just demonstrate. And as you can see now, the entire area is ice. So that's a turn 1.
Sorry, I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Excuse Alexa. Okay. So now we have a turn, they have a turn. We can even drink a Potion of Haste, even though this will give us bonus armor class, so it's going to be even harder for our enemies to hit us, but this will give us more movement speed. And that means we can provoke twice as many opportunity attacks. Now when we try to fly away, it's going to hit us. We do not react, we just let them take the damage. As you can see, he just took 78 damage. And he's dead. So that's what you do. You let them hit you, and then they die. Perfect, she's dead, 74 damage. This is definitely one of the most unique builds you can play in the game. It's a true pacifist build, where you do not attack anyone. They just attack you and then they die. And now we dash. Now let's go inside and provoke. The hardest ones, the hardest enemies to fight are the ones that play with ranged weapons. And as you can see, we've lost a few charges now, but we haven't taken any damage at all. At all. And now, since we're starting to get low, what we can do is we can cast a level 5 Abjuration spell. Do not react, let them hit you. Can't even try to charm them, really. As you can see, we just took a little bit of damage. -3, -3, -12. I will cast again Armor of Agath is level 6 because I just want to have full charges, right? And if I have the option, I'm gonna do it. Let's give this boy an opportunity attack. Also, these guys in here are not wet, so I'm gonna cast wet, create water again. You can also throw water at your enemies, but it's just not the same, really. The hardest enemies to fight are the ones that are not, how you say, melee. Because they're not gonna be attacking you with opportunity attacks and you're gonna have to use spells on them. Yeah, and because we have Call the Weak, it's easy to kill enemies. It's just... You see, and now we can cast Counter Spell as a level 5 spell and get our wards back, our stacks back, and we have 2 reactions every turn. So it's our turn again. I would do create water level 5 again at the start of, and we're gonna lose our haste at the end of this turn, so we're gonna be susceptible to damage. We wanna be hit though, so we don't really mind. Just make sure you keep track of that. As you can see, yep, 80 damage because I was attacked. Now I want to give this one an opportunity attack as well. I wish my armor class was lower. I kind of want to be hit. And I'm also going to do a Cone of Cold on this girl right here. Yep, instantly dead. And I'm going to even Misty Step downstairs so that they can hit me. Counterspell again, an amazing way to recharge your charges. Yep, there we go. 18 again, full HP, and you have 2 counterspells every turn. You can also use Shield as a reaction to get some stacks. They hit you, they take a 90 damage, and they die. Sure, let's try to counterspell. Perfect, more charges. Is she wet? No. Okay, so wet is running out. Let's do it again. Let's give them more opportunity attacks. They hit you, they take damage. He summoned something. Yeah, it's that easy, guys. And Cone of Cold is a really reliable way to do damage. Our HP, we just took 1 damage and 2 damage before that during this fight. almost no damage. Really useful. And the battle is over. We took almost no damage. This is probably one of the best, one of the most fun ways to solo the game. And it can really be a really cool pacifist build where you just don't attack anyone and it's their fault for attacking you, right? So this is the build, guys. If you enjoy the content, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. I do try to make a lot of these cool builds, and let me know if you want to see more infinite sorcery point builds where they abuse that, or if you've had enough of them and you just want to see something else. And drop any ideas you have in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, guys.